Hi everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be making a waterfall card using the Hippest Hippos, which are a free stamp set you can earn in my Stampin' Up shop during the month of July and August. Now I'm not sure when this video will actually be going live on my YouTube channel, but it will probably be sometime in July, and Sale-a-bration will have started. And for anybody that doesn't know what Sale-a-bration is, for the month of July and August only, for every £45 before postage and packing you spend in my online Stampin' Up shop, which is www.applelover53.stampinup.net, or you can get to it via the shop tab on my applelover53.co.uk website. You will have the opportunity to earn a free item from the Sale-a-bration brochure. And the Hippest Hippos is one of the free stamp sets that you get with a £45 spend. There are also hippo dies, which are also available with a £45 spend. And in the dies cut out the three hippos, but there's extra elements. There's like a boat, a bathtub, an umbrella, flowers. There's like a little life buoy, I think it's called, you know, like a ring that you throw in if someone's struggling in water. That looks like a piece of pizza. They're water splashes. There's a snorkel and some goggles. It's just, oh, and there's some glasses. It's a fun set. So either of these is available with a £45 spend. So if you've got a ScanNCut and you don't necessarily want to buy the dies, then if you spend £45 and choose the stamp set, you could cut these out with your ScanNCut. If you want all the extra elements that are in the dies, which I think are fun, then if you spent £90, you could get both, but you can buy them separately. So if you put an order in July and spend £45 and get the stamp set, then you put another order in August, providing obviously the dies are still available, you could get the dies. Sale-a-bration items do tend to sometimes sell out. So, you know, it's just a case of if you see something during Sale-a-bration and you've got the opportunity to get it for free, then get it while you can. As I said, I'm going to be making a waterfall card. Now, this waterfall card, I've cut all the elements ready, is a cutting file that's available in my ScanNCut cutting file shop, so you can purchase this cutting file, and in your cutting file you'll get all the elements that you see here. This element is shown as one element on your mat. I've just cut it twice, once in Blushing Bride to go on the front and once in Basic White to go on the inside. But you'll get the base card, you'll get the waterfall mechanism, and you'll get the elements for the waterfall itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is do my stamping on my three white pieces. And then I'm going to do a little bit of colouring, not a lot. I'm going to use my stamping blends, and then I'll show you how to put the waterfall mechanism together. So I'm just going to bring in my Simply Scrub. So one side you spray, rub your stamp on it, and then you dry it on this side. So that's just off to the side. So I'm going to use all three of the hippos. So I've got a block, and I'm just going to stamp each one of the hippos and then clean the stamp just off to the right so that I can use this same block. So I've got Tuxedo Memento black ink. Brought my camera down a little bit, so I'm still kind of getting used to the angle. So I'm just going to bring this one in, and I'm just going to stamp the first little hippo and lift, and I'm just going to put that on one side. I'm just going to clean this block off on the side and dry it, and then that now can go back in my packet. I'm going to bring my next hippo in, do exactly the same, ink this up with the Tuxedo Memento black, try and get it so it's relatively central, and then just do the last one. Okay, so I'm going to ink this one up and do the same with this one. So the colourway I'm using for this card is Basic Grey and Blushing Bride for the base of the card. I may stamp a greeting, I'll just leave that on one side for now. I'm not sure yet. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of colouring on the hippos. So I may speed up this bit. So for now, I've got Granny Apple Green, Daffodil Delight, Petal Pink and Smoky Slate. So I'm just going to start with this little guy here, and I'm just going to colour the little flower with the Daffodil Delight and colour the little leaf with the Granny Apple Green. I might put a little bit of Petal Pink just in the middle of his ears, although you might not see it because it's a tiny, tiny area. And then I'm going to colour the main body in with my light Smoky Slate. So as I say, I may speed up this area. I'm just going to go round that eye so it still stays nice and white. And I may have to just pull this towards me because I don't know if my head's actually getting in the camera or not. As I say, I've moved my camera down a bit. I normally have it at a certain height and I use the zoom, but I've brought it down a bit just to see if it's any better. So if you're a regular watcher, perhaps you'd like to leave me a comment letting me know whether the fact that I've brought this down is any better or not, or if it doesn't really make any difference. So I'm just going to colour this in. Oh, and I know what else I need. I want my colour lifter. I'm just going to go around the inside edge here with the grey, but I also want that to be left kind of white. So I'm going to bring my colour lifter in and just drag that colour in so it'll still have a little bit of the grey, but not quite as dark as on his body. And then I'm just going to come back to the Petal Pink and just colour his little fingernails and toenails in, or her little fingernails and toenails. So that's my first one. I don't know whether to colour, I might colour his, is it a snout or face? I don't know what it is. I might actually colour this in, but what I might do, I might colour lift it as well. So let's, I'm going to use the bigger end. I think I've only used this once before, and I can't remember whether I left it white or not. So I'm just going to bring the colour lifter in again, and because it's a bigger area, I'm going to use the brush end. And that, I don't know how well you'll see, but that lifts a lot of the colour, and then you just clean the nib on your colour lifter until it kind of runs clear. I'll just hold it up again to show you. It just lifts some of the colour out. So I'm going to do the other two and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. I've kept it simple with the colouring. I've coloured them all exactly the same, Smoky Slate Light. I've used a little bit of the Petal Pink on the ears. On this one here, I've used it on a little ballerina, is it a tutu? And on a little ballerina sleeves. And then, as I showed you in the first one, I've done a little bit of Daffodil Delight. I'm just going to go over that again because I've got a little bit of the grey in there. And a bit of Granny Apple Green for the leaf. And then I've just put a little bit of Smoky Slate underneath them just to ground them so they don't look like they're floating. So that's my three elements. So now we're going to go, in fact, I'll mat these up, and then, so these are going to go onto the Blushing Bride layers. As I say, all of these are in the cut file, the ScanNCut cut file for you. And I've made them about 1/4 of an inch bigger all the way around. And I've used Petal Pink for the colouring in the blends because we don't do a Blushing Bride as far as I can remember. So that's that. These are going to be one for inside and one for the outside. So this is your card. So you're going to fold on the score line that's already there. I'll put my white piece in while I'm here. I may or may not do some stamping on the inside, I'm not sure, but I'm going to put the piece in anyway. If I stamp and mess it up, well, so be it. So that's going to go on there, and then you've got this piece. Don't stick this on yet. So what I want you to do, you've got your waterfall piece like this. I want you to fold it starting with this section here at the bottom. And you're going to fold it away from you. So you've got 3 score lines. So you're going to fold, a mountain fold and burnish. Then you're going to mountain fold your next one and burnish. And mountain fold your last one and burnish. So basically, you've started with it like so, and you've mountain fold so that this comes under these tabs, okay? Then on your tabs, I've put fold lines in for you as well. And this is going to sit on this mechanism. The only bit that holds this waterfall mechanism to this piece of card are these two flaps here. Okay, which, as I say, I've pre-scored for you. And you put it on so that this piece with the scalloped end comes behind this horizontal section, and that's held into place like so, and then all of this gets stuck down to the front of your card. So before I do anything, I'm going to start by sticking my little waterfall layers on. Now I've cut these waterfall layers so they're about 1/4 of an inch narrower than the actual base card, so you can centre them up. And you just position them so that the top of like my blushing bride layer here comes up to the fold, but not on it and not over it, just ever so slightly below it. And I'm going to start with the bottom one, so it's just a case of which order I want these in. So I think I'll put this one on the bottom, the little ballerina in the middle, and this one on the top. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. So this one's going to sit centrally here with the blushing bride layer. Not sure how well you'll see this. Can you see it? It's just below the fold line. So I'm going to apply some adhesive on here, and I'm going to use wet glue just to give me a little bit of wiggle room. And you don't want a lot, you just want a small amount. You're not sticking it completely down, you just want it to be held in place. Just try and put this, line this up straight on my grid lines, and I'm just going to hold that down until it sticks. And once you've got one in place, then your others will follow. So this one's going to stick like this, and you can use the edge of this one to line this up. And again, I'm just going to put some wet glue on the back. I just find that wet glue, I think, is a lot stronger. So I'm going to position it up below that fold line and line it up so that the edges line up with the one underneath, and hold that down. And then the last one is going to go like so. Use the edge of the one before it to line it up, and then position it up to that fold. So that's how it's looking now. So now this needs to be glued to this, and it should just fit from top to bottom and then centrally. So I'm just going to turn it over, put a little bit of glue on those two arms. I mean, the whole thing's going to get stuck down in a minute, but for now I just want to kind of try and position it. So I'm lining it up with the top, lining this up with the bottom, and I'm just going to hold these two sides down to let that glue grab on the back like so. And then this whole thing then is going to sit on the front of the card. Now I've kept mine very simple. You could stamp on this pink background, you could run it through one of your embossing folders. It's entirely up to you. But for now, because I've got wet glue all over me, I'm going to use my stamping seal and just make sure I put quite a lot on it. So I've got my card, I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to line this up now centrally. So again, this blushing bride pink layer has been cut, so it's about 1/4 of an inch smaller all the way around. So I'm just going to rub this from the back to give that a time to stick. So your card opens up like so. You can put your greeting, write your message. You've got an extra space on the back. You could cut another white panel if you needed to write more. And then basically this now pulls, and that's your waterfall mechanism. So I'm just going to get a little bit of bling, and I'm going to use the glossy dots. Bring in your take your pick tool. I think these are Daffodil Delight, these glossy dots. So I'll just put one there and one down there. And then I might put one of the pink ones on this one. Pull this down. And let's have another one of the yellow ones. I don't want to put too much extra depth on here because obviously I want the mechanism still to work. So I've got the yellow, the pink and the yellow, and then it just pulls like that. As I say, you can stamp your greeting inside if you want to. Let's see what we've got. We've got, oh, you really are the best. You're so hip. You're always on point. Love you a ton. So I'm going to go for, oh, you really are the best. And as I've got tuxedo black memento on my desk, that's not very straight on my block, and this block's a bit big, but we'll go with it. So I'll just hopefully stamp that near the top, and then that gives you a place to write. You could also stamp one of the hippos on the inside as well if you want to. I've just got my Simply Scrub off to the right here, so I've just cleaned that stamp. So as I say, basic grey, blushing bride, and then a little bit of daffodil delight, granny apple green and petal pink for my blends. And then you open it up, you've got, oh, you really are the best. Now, as I say, this is a cutting file that's available in my cutting file shop. So the finished size is 4 by 5.5. So this will fit in a UK C6 envelope, but it will also fit in a US A2 envelope. I do get asked that quite a lot with the cutting files on my website. You know, are they sized to fit the American size? I do try to say in a video if there's an accompanying video, and I try to remember to put it in the description. But you can always size my files down. So if you buy a file and you open it up and it's a little bit bigger than will go in a US envelope, just put all the layers together, group it together and size it down slightly, and then it'll go in your envelope. So that's today's project. I hope you liked it. Please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.